record right now. Nope.
Well, I started first.
Okay, there we go.
Actually, I'll find out who started first when I start editing.
Couldn't
unless
you
you
just-
just started right now,
but
in which
couldn't-
case I started.
Couldn't you just
First.
manipulate that to make it look like you
That's
started first?
No, because I would have to have pre-planned the thought where I said that I started first, and then because it's harder to manipulate than you think.
Couldn't you just mute me until you say that and then unmute me so it sounds like you started first?
If I was going to put in all this effort to do different things, I would just do a deep fake of you saying
That seems
how
like more
much-
work.
No,
Yeah.
that's the same amount. It's the same amount. Copy paste is the same as a deep fake now. Have you not been paying attention?
Is Gronk that
Like-
advanced?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it is. It doesn't matter if you hang a flag on top of the Empire State Building with a message of world peace and
Go
unity.
to church in Atlanta.
Everyone's going to turn it into an advertisement for their business the next week. That's what it is. It's just going to be people posting you advertising 2-for-1 pizza slices because of the 4th of July because they didn't get the fucking message.
Dude, I think it's so funny that people climb the Empire State Building with a sign about going to church in Atlanta, a state that is famously not near New York.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the
What are you
people
talking about?
the people that climb the Empire State Building, their sign, I saw a picture where it was like about a church in Atlanta. Hang on.
That's photoshopped, you fucking...
Is it really?
Yes,
What did
dude. That's what I'm making fun
Oh,
of.
I was like,
They posted a quote. Wow.
what was the
Wow.
original sign?
Wow. Now I'm enraged.
When
they
the power of the beats the love of the world knows. Oh, you're right.
When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace.
I was wondering why two people
Famously-
climbed the Empire State Building about church. I thought that was weird.
This quote is famously attributed to Jimi Hendrix. These are two
Left-handed.
beautiful Russian Americans climbing the Empire State Building with a message from Jimi Hendrix, R.I.P., about world peace. And then you didn't even. This is what I mean. This is what I was talking about. First is tragedy, then is farce, right? This is where we are. It's a tragedy that people would not get the message and immediately go, cool, I can make all of that effort that you put in mine now to promote my business because
That's hilarious.
I'm hearing you and I'm not listening. You know, like that's.
I wasn't
and
listening
then-
to you, to be fair. So
And then it's there it is. There it is. There it is.
you started
That's what it
talking,
comes
and
down to.
I zoned out. I was like, Kevin's
You just
talking.
just bloop.
Nah,
Here it goes.
I'm busy.
You're like, here he goes. I'm just like a wind-up toy to you.
Yeah.
You just turn me
Yeah.
on, and you're just like,
That's
there he
actually.
goes.
I just wait for it
There
to
he
stop,
goes.
and then I go, do I
Look
want to
at
wind
Kevin.
it up
He's
again?
He's just banging. He's a little trash panda, just banging cymbals on the floor.
Doing a flip.
Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah, that's a great analogy because sometimes I don't want to wind you back up. Sometimes I just want to put you back on the shelf and go later.
You
Later.
just wait till I buy some actual cymbals and get on this bitch. Like this.
There goes all of our listeners. If I
You know what? I'm putting a cymbal crash in there.
if I started a podcast and immediately it was loud cymbal crashes, I would
Just
never,
a gong
never
show.
listen to that podcast again.
Welcome to Kevin and Odie's Gong Show, taken very literally.
I can play the triangle.
My God. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. All right, are you ready to breathe? Are you ready to clap?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. On time, every time. Welcome back to another episode of the UnPop podcast. I'm your host, Capitana Papi Todo Siempre. Happy 4th of July, Kevin Miner. With me as always is
ODIE space MATTHEWS, the chef cooking up content for you. He.
Are you doing a Stephen Hawking impression? What was that?
No,
That
I'm
might
just,
be ableist of you.
just getting people ready
Why
for...
would you do that?
I'm just getting people ready for when the AI version of me takes over.
Talking about church in Atlanta, making fun of the differently abled. Who are you this week?
I'm not making fun of the differently... What are you talking about?
Why were you doing Stephen Hawking impression?
Dude. Remember in Batman v Superman when that guy in the wheelchair blew everybody up? I was on his side. I was on his side.
Wow.
He was in a wheelchair.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. Odie, let's just get into the news. Let's get away from this scandal that you're being wound up in.
That you started.
Yes, I did.
Well, Kevin, we got only like 2 pieces of news because we've got a couple other things that we're gonna do a little differently today. Instead of news and then movie of the week and then jams, it's gonna be a little bit of news, some thoughts, some other thoughts. Movie of the week, and then jam.
Yep. I love how part of having a podcast is like, we've already had this conversation, but you have to tell me for listeners' sake. You know, like you have to reiterate for them. That wasn't for me. My brain was going, I fucking know this, Odie, but I don't know why you're telling me. I feel like a genius right now because I already knew all of this.
You feel like a genius because you knew something in advance?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I always feel. If I'm sitting in the theater, I'm like, he sees dead people because he's dead. Yeah.
But Kevin, can I ask you a question?
What?
Do you got that dog in you?
I don't.
Play the news bits right there because it'll work really well when I talk about the first bit of news.
Oh, say it one more time.
Kevin, you got that dog in you?
Oh, I just played sound clips of dogs barking. Play it one more. Say it one more time.
Do you got that dog in you?
Yeah. I do. You heard it right there.
Yeah, baby. It's the UnPop news coming at you fresh and hot from the command deck of the SS Marlon Brando. Let's see what this week had in store.
Because our first bit of news, Kevin.
Whoa!
Is the
I didn't expect that.
The long-awaited, long-anticipated, a movie I think you and I both are very excited for, coming out this December. No, I'm not talking about Doomsday. No, I'm not talking about Dune 3. No, I'm not talking about the new Tom and Jerry movie coming out this fall that nobody knows about. I'm talking about Werewolf.
I heard you almost say Doomsday there, too.
I almost did.
So I heard that. You almost
did. You got me.
We should just call it that forever, and people will be confused. They'll go to the movies. They'll be like, I'm here to see Doomsday, and then they'll get like 2 tickets, and they'll be like, what? And they're like, you're locked in now.
It's like half the screen is
no
Avengers,
refunds.
half the screen is Dune.
That would be horrible.
That would be awful.
No. I was saying they would be locked in for a double screening. Like the guy would just be like, "You're locked. We already took the money. No returns.
Oh, I would
You're
do
here
that
all day."
I would 100%
You
walk in
would?
from one theater to another. What are you talking about?
That's someone's nightmare. Anyway, you're talking about.
We got the trailer for Robert Eggers Werewulf. Robert Eggers.
Say it right. Say it phonetically. It's werewolf.
Werewolf. I like the choice of spelling on his personally.
Yeah, he leaned into European spelling, and everything is dark and dingy looking. This is very Robert Eggers. He loves just dropping us into like Central or partially Eastern Europe, and then just making everything like dingy blue, dingy green, like
and very grim.
Like, that's how you know it's like, oh, is it spelled weird? Does everything look like it has an early 2000s MySpace filter on it? Must be a Robert Eggers film. And I mean that with love.
No, yeah, look, for one, this is going up against Jumanji 3, the Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Karen Gillan Jumanji.
Which should not be a challenge.
It should. Werewolf should realistically. That's the only way I can say it right. Werewolf. That should realistically beat out Jumanji 3, but it probably won't. Because it's Robert Eggers' small film. But
when is it coming out?
End of December.
Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Robert Eggers loves a Christmas movie that's not a Christmas movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I love it.
He's like The Northman? Yeah, holiday season. Nosferatu? Christmas. Yeah, Werewolf? In between Christmas and New Year's. Like
I think this has got Aaron Taylor Johnson, who was in Nosferatu. And
yes, he was.
It's got Lily Rose Depp, who was in
Nosferatu. Famously in Nosferatu, they didn't like each other. Famously in this movie, they will be fucking, I think.
Maybe. We've also got Willem Dafoe and Galactus himself. Ralph Ineson is in this.
Here's what I'm going to say. This movie looks amazing, and they know how to sell this movie because toward the end of the trailer, all you see is just like a couple different broken up shots that you know is already one shot of Aaron Taylor Johnson's fucking abs. That dude,
yeah,
like I'm in shape, right? He's otherworldly.
Well, he's
like I don't know how you get there. I wish I could be there. I want to have Craven body.
I can tell you how,
know
Kevin.
What I mean?
Are you ready? I can tell you how.
How?
Go back in time to when you were about 20 years old, star
Yes.
in Kick-Ass, get really famous, land a Marvel role, even if it's a Sony Marvel role, so they'll pay a personal trainer to train you for 4 months straight with ungodly amounts of money and unattainable goals if you're an average person, and then you can look like Aaron Taylor Johnson. That's all you got to do.
I'm not going to go back in time. I'm just going to do that now, and everyone's going to be like, you're a psychopath.
Well, you remember how Kumail Nanjiani talked openly about like how difficult it was to get into Marvel shape? He was like, if I was a normal person, I wouldn't be able to do this. It's because I'm rich and have money. And then he just stayed jacked, which I appreciate.
I'm proud of how jacked I am now. And I genuinely, I feel like I'm close to Marvel shape. You might have to stuff my suit a little bit, right? There's probably people who've only ever listened to this podcast and have no idea that I'm like 190 pounds and 10% body fat. Like, Aaron Taylor, the point I'm making is that's the shape I would love to, that's my dream shape. But he's just like, but that's how you sell this fucking movie, because people are going to go watch Aaron Taylor Johnson take his shirt off. They've done it so many times already.
His transformation scene, I can already tell is going to be...
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be fucking incredible.
We have needed a transformation scene like this since the Underworld movies died off, which was like over a decade ago.
Teen Werewolf movie.
That was fine. Underworld movies, though. The first time I watched okay, I think we've already covered this in our horror episodes. I like werewolves and lichens more than I like vampires.
Yeah. That's fair.
Like, I'm into that. Like, I'm into the dirty, dingy, backwoods style horror elements, right? Like, I like that. Like, if you drop me in the underworld, if you were like, hey, what would you rather be, vampire or werewolf? Werewolf, 100%. Or I'd prefer lichen. What would you prefer?
Fishman.
Because you love the creature from Black Lagoon. Okay, I've totally lost the plot. I'm so sorry. I've veered us way off track.
It's okay.
It's Aaron Taylor Johnson's fault, really.
We'll swerve back on, but werewolf.
Let's swerve back on. All right.
Werewolf. It looks really good. I think this trailer again does a really good job, kind of like Nosferatu, where you're like, yeah, this is clearly a horror movie. This is a classic horror monster kind of story retold through a different lens. It gives you enough that you know, hey, shit's gonna go wrong, shit's gonna get fucked up, but it looks good, and I'm so excited for this.
I feel like Robert Eggers' trailers, who's ever doing the editing and pushing these movies out, even if he has a little oversight on it, the team that does this, they always do a good job of showing me enough where I'm like, oh, I can't tell if there is and what the real twist would be here. You know? Like, from the first couple trailers, I'm never like, oh, that's going to be the twist because you showed me these two scenes and had this quote in it. Like so many trailers do now. Like if you've watched a lot of movies, if you're good at deciphering story, you can watch a lot of trailers now and go, oh, I already know what's going to happen. With Robert Eggers' movies, I'm like, there could be some stuff in there that's going to surprise me, you know?
I agree with that. I think
it feels opaque.
For some movies, like Doomsday, I'll definitely watch a couple trailers. But for some,
I'm blind on Doomsday. I have not even read the comics.
We don't have a trailer for it yet at all. We don't have anything for it. We have those teasers, but those teasers don't count in my opinion.
Yeah,
like those.
This is the first time in a long time I'm going to go in full blind.
I think
on a Marvel movie. I think
what I've been doing lately, and it's what I did for like Supergirl, Bone Temple, Obsession, a couple other movies that I really liked this year. I've only watched the first trailer they release.
Which is good. And that's a good idea.
And that's why I also go in late to the movie theater, because I don't want to see trailers. Like I've been really lucky to avoid most of the Odyssey trailers so far. Same with Spider-Man and stuff. So, no, Spider-Man I watched purposely because I'm so curious if that's gonna be good. My whole point is,
dude. Speaking of, you know what? This is what this podcast is about now. Have you seen pictures of Elliot Page boxing? He's jacked now.
Oh, I have not.
Elliot Page is fucking jacked.
Hell yeah.
And like,
good for him.
There's still like beta males with the confidence to go into like the comment sections and comment on Elliot Page. And I'm like, you're going to get knocked out, dude. Like,
that's why he got jacked.
Elliot Page is gonna come for you. Like, I don't know if you see it. Like,
I'm here
Elliot
for it.
Page could probably beat you up, keyboard warrior. Anyway, keep going.
I love that.
I do too, actually.
All of that to be said, Werewolf looks really good. I definitely won't watch another trailer because this is enough to get me hooked. And that's the thing, too, is if the first trailer, like Clayface is a great example. That first teaser that we've gotten, I will not watch another trailer for that. I don't want to know anything else. I don't need to know anything else.
I don't watch another trailer for that.
Gotta
but
avoid the
I
trailers,
do
baby.
sometimes show up to the movies early.
Bring a blindfold and earplugs.
I'm just going to be sitting there covering my eyes with, like, one of the people who comes to the movies with me just going, why are you doing this right now?
It'll make sense later. I promise.
I love that I've started being able to, like, I've just reached out and, like, invited random people to the movies with me too. Like, that's been great. Or, like, if someone tells me that they love a movie, I'm like, I'm gonna go see it. Do you want to see it? And, like, I've had people to view it with, because that's been great to bring into this podcast, where I'm then talking to somebody else as we're leaving the movie, and I can, like, ruminate my thoughts even more.
See, I think that's funny because, like, I'm the opposite. I have gotten
you have
to the
to
point,
watch it by yourself.
Not that I have to, but I've gotten to the point where I definitely prefer to go by myself.
Someone who knows you sits down in the same row and waves, and you just quietly get up and walk away.
Yep.
Like, you're just like,
absolutely.
Nope, this is a sensory issue for me.
I don't like being around people when I'm watching a movie, Kevin. Speaking of things we don't like being around.
Speaking of.
Josh Gad has joined the Ocean's 11 prequel movie that is starring Bradley Cooper and Margot Robbie, directed by Bradley Cooper, written by Bradley Cooper.
Oh, my God. So it's a vanity project is
It's
what you're saying.
the Bradley
Cooper's vanity Ocean's 11 prequel. What's it called? Listen right now.
Ocean's 10.
If this thing is not called Ocean's motherfucking 10, you have failed. You've failed on all fronts before you've even gotten out of the starting gate. If this motherfucker is not called Ocean's 10.
But that's already fucked.
Because naming mechanisms are important.
But we already have Ocean's 8, so then there would need to be a 9. And 8's technically after 10.
But no, Ocean's 8 is a separate thing because women. But Ocean's...
Say that differently. Say that differently. Say that differently before we get canceled. You can't say it like that, Kevin.
No, I wanted to say it the funny way.
No. Oh, no.
Sometimes I say it just for the punchline.
Yeah, no, Ocean's 8 doesn't count because it's its own fucking weird thing that was,
it
was
its
a bad
own thing.
movie.
Yeah, it's a spin-off. A spin-off doesn't count in the naming mechanism.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's not I'm going to do that to you more now.
Then I'm going to react
Now that I know that that's a button I can push.
No.
I really am a raccoon. I really am just a trash panda coming into your life once a week.
Well, now we both
twice
have
a
buttons.
week sometimes.
I can make. I know how to push yours, and you know how to push mine.
You know mine. You know all mine. All right. Yeah. Okay, so Josh Gad's in this, Bradley Cooper, Margot Robbie. Look, the star power alone is going to draw in fucking, like, your base level consumer millennials, a.k.a. our peer group, but the same people who don't analyze movies. Well, I mean, we're going to have to see it.
I would see
also,
this anyways.
we have unlimited passes. I don't count you and I as viewers for a movie because, like when they reveal how many people have seen a movie, I immediately subtract
-2
from that number. Because we don't count. We're going to see it anyway.
Yeah, and I would regardless if I had this podcast, and you know that.
We shouldn't. I actually would appreciate if I went to the theater and they're like, and you don't count? And like,
you're like handing out surveys, and they're like, not for you.
The people with me are like, why did they say that to you?
Yeah, it's a long story. I think they're going to name this.
Thoughts on this?
I think they're going to name it Ocean's 1.
Fuck you.
I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking.
That would be so fucking dumb because then that implies that you're going to make 8 more.
Yeah.
Also, Ocean's 1 implies that there's one guy and nobody else helping him.
Well,
because Ocean's 11 was about the 11 people who heisted, right? So if you do Ocean's 1, it's a solo heist.
Yeah, it's Bradley Cooper's solo heist.
It's the fucking Inside Man with Clive Owen. That's Ocean's 1. We already did it.
No, this is
he had people helping him too.
Yeah, he did. This is Ocean's 1 because it's Bradley Cooper doing a heist while Margot Robbie stays at home with little baby Danny Ocean, and we cut back to her teaching him how to heist while Bradley Cooper does the main heist. Boom.
But baby Danny Ocean is grown-up Josh Gad.
Yes, exactly. He's just in a diaper.
Great. Love it. That's a great plot. Actually, Can't wait. Can't wait for this movie. What else you got, Odie? We got more news this week.
Well, yeah. Let's talk about a couple other little pieces of news. Specifically, what somebody said about. Let me pull this up.
Supergirl.
Yeah.
Are you bringing up the Supergirl?
I wanted to talk about
Hideo Kojima. I already had it loaded up.
Thank you,
I was
sir.
here first. Okay.
You can have it, Kevin.
I'm gonna read the quote. I'm gonna read the quote verbatim because it's Hideo Kojima,
Yes, please do.
Famous video game creator and all-around respected artist. He said, "I saw Supergirl in IMAX. It wasn't a superhero movie about saving Earth through self-sacrifice as justice confronts evil. It was a coming-of-age story about saving oneself. Kara, as she struggles with her own trauma, structurally, it feels less like Mad Max Fury Road from 2015, where everyone is driven purely by survival instinct beyond notions of good and evil, and more like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly 1966, where heroes, villains, and scoundrels just all converge." Perfectly said, sir. Thank you. This is a great endorsement for this film. Obviously, there's been a lot of discourse around it because the initial backlash to a female-fronted superhero film is fucking predictable. We all knew, like it's almost like they reveal they're like, we're gonna make a superhero movie, and you almost hear all the incels all at once go,
yeah,
take the big breath, get ready for their rant, and it's like. Yep. And of course, we already knew what the criticisms were going to be. None of them were about the structure. None of them were about the theming. None of them were about... It was all just the same tired complaint about a woman being in any form of, admirable position in a film.
And, okay, so I read an article yesterday from The Hollywood Reporter that actually kind of looked a little bit at the production of this. And to summarize what that article was, is there was two versions. There was the studio's version, which was kind of oversaw by James Gunn, and then there was the director's version by Peter Gillespie. And they did a test screening back in, I believe it was March. They did 3 different test screenings. The first 2 didn't do well. The second one, or the third one in March, they pitted the studio's version against Gillespie's version, and they were pretty much neck and neck. His version, which changed some things and had different song choices, was scored just about the same as the studio's version. And, of course, a big point of this discourse is the use of the slow rendition of Jimmy Eat World in the middle.
Which was a great inclusion.
I still stand by it, especially after seeing Supergirl a third time. I stand by that song fits really well.
Do people not like that?
A lot of people say it's the
perfectly.
worst. People say it's the worst needle drop in a superhero movie, which I think is. It's like, did you watch the first 10 minutes of Suicide Squad 2016? There's 8 needle drops and they're all bad.
Okay. Here's, I feel like I can add a little bit of clarity to this. The reason I think people would call that specifically, the reason someone would call that the worst needle drop in superhero movie history is because we like to insert ourselves into the position of the hero. Whereas in that moment, you can't, because you are forced to have empathy. Well, not forced, but you are seeing the world through Ruthie's eyes. You're not seeing it through, and that's a little bit of whiplash for people who set up a specific expectation to always be able to insert themselves into the hero position. We have a hero worship, a hero fetish type thing in our culture, right? It exists. We love being the protagonist, especially in Western culture, especially in America. So it just makes sense that people would, in that moment, in the climactic moment where they're so used to getting pumped up for having the perspective of the superhero, be thrown off by all of a sudden being pitted almost against that expectation via the empathy that you could have should you be viewing it and paying attention and really reading what's going on for Ruthie, who is not but also kind of is the main character of the film.
Yeah, and look, another point about this movie before I get into what I kind of where this is building to is there are valid criticisms of people saying, the structure, they didn't love the structure, they didn't love the script. I think one of the most...
You're talking about all the things I said last week that brought it down.
Yeah, and all of those are valid. Look, in a video that will maybe be out by the time this podcast is out, I have a video where I break down Zack Snyder's return to DC and the chances of that. And one of the things I make a point to say in that movie, and I want to say it here, is your opinion on a movie Kevin's opinion, my opinion, your brother's opinion, the person next to you. At the end of the day, it's exactly that. It's an opinion. It's an opinion on a movie, and just because you like something doesn't mean that somebody else won't like it or will like it. You know, at the end of the day, it's literally, it's just an opinion. It's a movie. Kevin loves the Pest. Other people don't like that movie. It's just an opinion.
I don't actually. No, we watched that and I changed my opinion on that movie drastically.
Yeah.
I was like, remember that? I think that's the one movie I've ever watched where I've been like, oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, no. I watched this and went, oh no, Kevin. Kevin, oh no.
Yeah, I had fond memories of being a child enjoying that film. And then when we went to watch it again, I was like, "This is." I'm sure John Leguizamo had the same reaction.
Oh, I'm sure he tries to forget about it.
Like, yeah.
But
that's actually what his character in The Menu was based off of.
That was
him
the movie.
Being in the past.
Yes. Oh
it
yeah.
was the movie.
Yes.
In the past.
That's great.
But yeah. Okay.
But anyway,
so people have legitimate criticisms. Yeah. People have some that are just like superfluous and completely, utterly. Undeniably biased in their subjectivity.
Exactly.
But
and here's the thing. I sometimes when you watch a movie, I think everybody goes through a point where like one movie will really stick out to you, really stay with you, really speak to you. And I realized that in the last week there's something about the Supergirl movie. I saw it 3 times, which is different than seeing He-Man 3 times. I saw He-Man 3 times because I was bored. I saw this 3 times because I liked it. Supergirl to me is just exactly the kind of movie that I feel like is needed right now. And I get not everybody's going to resonate with it, but I think for me it really hit home because it speaks to some things that personally I can relate to. Now, I'm not saying that I was sent away in a tiny spaceship while my whole like city planet died from radiation poisoning, and I'm not saying that I went on a pub crawl to try to forget pain, and I'm not saying that my family was murdered by an alien trying to get my swords out of my shed. I'm just saying that some of the themes and the messages about what it's like to not have a place called home, to lose the only place you've ever been able to like really feel like you can call home. I relate to that.
Yeah.
I relate to, you know, losing your parents in a way. And we live in a day and age where people think that losing your parents means that they like died. But, you know, for me, my parents did something that like pushed them and me out of their life because of, you know, reasons. So I haven't spoken to them in a while. And that pain that is the focal point of Kara's journey and how it incorporates into Ruthie's journey and how it ties back to Clark's journey, I think all of that is just so beautifully done because for the first time in a while, for me personally, I feel like we're getting movies in the superhero genre that are actually saying something. And back in the first 3 phases of Marvel, you would get a movie here and there that would say something. Captain America Winter Soldier said something. Civil War would say something. You know, there's
very true.
Really the Captain America movies, but like there was you know, there was a message or a theme or a point in some of them, but a lot of the time it was really Marvel was so formulaic that it was here's the good guy, here's the bad guy, here's the reason they're going to fight, here they are fighting, you know? And they might change that a little bit where the bad guy wins the first fight and then loses the second and yada yada. But Superman, I rewatched Superman again last night because Nate wanted to watch it, and I was like, I'll watch it again. But I was I was doing some other stuff while we were watching it on my laptop. But Superman and Supergirl are 2 movies that are saying essentially the same thing, but taking very different paths to get there. And Superman, you know, is all about being good. He is about being good, a value of human life, value of the people around you, and how selfishness can really is not punk rock. You know, being punk rock is being good and kind. And it's really easy for Clark, given the fact that he was raised by 2 of the sweetest Kansas farmers known to man, who raised him to be a good person, who raised him to be like a human. Whereas Kara, you know, she gets to the end goal of being a good person, but her path and her journey is very different because she had a home that she had to leave. She had a family that she had to leave. And she's just expected to land on Earth and it be home. And especially seeing it a third time, like, the emphasis on Clark being like, this is going to be your home. You're going to learn to love it. You know, I promise you'll learn to love it. And it's like, I think people forget that when you leave a place that you've called home for so long, and you could look at all kinds of examples from immigrants, from war-torn countries where people are forced out, to people just, as a young kid, their parents being like, hey, everything you know and love, forget it because we're moving across the country, which is what happened to me. And then I moved every year for 2 years straight. Or I moved 2 years for the rest of my life. But there's something about this movie that just personally like has really hit me really hard, impacted me emotionally, has kind of been the driving force to make me face some pains in my life that I've been running from, which is another theme in this, how she's just running and drinking her problems away, which I think is such an interesting thing for a hero that has the ability to like fly across space and lift kaijus and is unstoppable, but chooses to go somewhere just so she can feel drinks. Like, I think there's a lot of layers, and maybe the script's not the best, but I think there's a lot of layers that are in Supergirl that have really good messages behind them about how it's okay to be messy. It's okay to take your time to work through your pain. But one thing that you need to be aware of is, how does that pain affect others? Are you going to lead others down that path, before you fix yourself? And I could go on. I could literally talk about this movie for hours still, because I just really like it. And I think if you haven't seen it yet, and I'm not here to change anyone's opinion or views or ideas on it. If you didn't like it, you didn't like it, and that's totally fine. But if you haven't seen it yet and you're on the fence, I would encourage you to go into it with an open mind, because I think one of the biggest reasons people don't like this is they've read the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic, and this is inspired by it, but it's not a one-for-one adaptation. And don't go in with that expectation, because it is very different from the comic book at the end of the day. But it's different in a good way, because now we have two really good Supergirl stories, in my opinion. And that's my very long-winded thing.
I love Supergirl.
I do. I love Supergirl and Superman.
You brought an interesting thought to my mind as you were talking about this, and I'm like thinking and kind of ruminating on the points that you're making. Is to compare and contrast a little bit. Probably what is both a strength and weakness for this film is Supergirl, insofar as her like psychology and overall like perspective on her place in the universe goes. In this movie, travels the entire distance from Logan in the first X-Men movie, a.k.a. Hugh Jackman, when he first shows up and he's drinking in a bar and getting beat up, right? And he's literally just fighting for a living and like traveling and being a wanderer and whatever. All the way to Logan at the end of Logan, where like he's saving selflessly a little kid, right? And has to like really deal with his own demons, both like internally and actually physically, because they made a clone of him, because they had to be nail on the head with it. But like so she travels that entire arc, which like I was saying, is both a strength and a weakness of this film, because there's so much nuance going on that if you don't necessarily like, if you are less capable of empathizing with the character development that's occurring, you're probably going to rate this movie on a lower scale.
I completely agree. And
whereas if you actually see that and you identify with that as it's happening, you're probably going to go, that was amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of strength there. It's a double-edged sword, right? It's a strength and a weakness of the film to travel that entire arc, because look at Logan. Logan travels it, and people genuinely grew to love the character more. At first, he was just an action hero. By the end, it was like, oh no, this is dark and gritty and everything that we needed, and this is cathartic, right? Supergirl does that in one movie, whereas he had an entire franchise to travel that. So like that's what maybe gave him a little more strength. Also, bias toward men, but like at the end of the day, her traveling that arc in one film to get her to the next film, where I definitely think I love where DC's going, and I like what once again, James Gunn, you do great. Clap, clap, clap.
Clap, clap.
But like, I like that we've traveled that distance so that we can just get her into the next one. She's not going to be doing the same thing in the next movie, it feels like.
No.
Whereas Logan did the same fucking thing in 3 different installments of his franchise.
I also think it's nice that...
Is this hold on. Is this a lesson on how... or is this a moment where we go, women learn lessons faster?
They mature faster? They mature faster than boys?
Is that what's really happening?
That's really what... See, another layer to this movie. Here's the thing though, like we never have to get another Supergirl movie in this universe. We don't need a sequel.
No.
And I'd be okay with that. If we got one, obviously that'd be great. But I don't think this is one of those times where I'm like, we don't need another solo movie. You could put her in a TV show with somebody, alongside somebody. Yeah. The fact that she's gonna have a bigger role in Man of Tomorrow, I think, is great. But I think at the end of the day,
Here's what I want. I want an intergalactic buddy cop comedy starring Supergirl and Lobo.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get. I think there's There's gonna be some kind of team up there.
Only buddy cop vibes. That's all I want. I want them. Yeah, like they have to solve it, or both of them. I don't know. Or Freaky Friday. Friday.
You know what?
Go ahead.
No. I'm gonna say no to that idea. I don't like that for some reason.
You don't want a Freaky Friday?
I don't want. I think Millie Alcock could definitely do a Jason Momoa impression, and Jason Momoa could do Millie Alcock. But I don't know if I want to see that. I was gonna say, Lobo saw her kill Krem at the end and smiled.
Yeah. Oh, he loved it.
I think he's gonna come to Earth and be like, "Hey, remember when you killed that guy?" And Superman's gonna be like, "You did what?" And she's like, "Shut up, Lobo."
Oh, yeah,
and they're gonna go off on an adventure kind of thing.
I agree that that's gonna be a point of contention between her and Superman. He's gonna be like, "You murdered?" And
she's gonna be like,
and she's gonna be like, "Yeah, because I'm normal." And Superman's gonna be like, "We don't murder here. But stuff that feeling down."
And that's another level to it. I think that there's an element in Supergirl where she doesn't she's trying maybe not to kill the brigands, and then Krem ends up killing that family, and the family betrayed her. So there is that level of I mean, I don't know about you, but if a family poisoned me and tried to get me killed and then they died, I don't know how, you know what I mean? That would put you in a weird place.
My only complaint about her killing Krem is that the message they were trying to send right before it was the opposite. That's it. So my only complaint is that the messaging itself feels a little bit whiplashy.
Well, see, but I think on the third watch through,
that's it.
I finally think that scene really planted itself for me, because the scene earlier when Supergirl's talking to Ruthie and she's like, "Your heart," when she's talking about Clark, and she's like, "His heart is young. It doesn't have the pain like me and you."
It's not like ours.
And I think it comes back to Krem needed to die. And she knew he needed to die, but Ruthie again didn't need to taint herself to be the one to do it. So the lesson was more for Ruthie, this isn't something that you should be doing, and it's kind of a little bittersweet, because it felt to me there's a level of Supergirl where she's like, "This is my heart," and she's kind of leaning into that a little bit. But anyways, we talked about it a lot last week.
Krem's a fucking monster, so kill him. Which is why at the end of the day I'm totally fine with her killing him anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and so what's happened here, and something that we wanted to touch on, because let's be real, we're talking Minions this week, and we don't really need to talk Minions that much. Is we don't.
No.
It was good. But we'll get to it. But so now, of course, because another DC movie has come out not directed by Zack Snyder, all of the guys who consistently live on Zack Snyder's dick have come out and said, this is horrible, and this is why Zack needs to come back to DC. And here's the thing. The man obviously did a good job creating movies for a specific audience. He is a niche director. There is a fan base for him. There have to be, and I've never looked into this, there have to be some people out there who think Rebel Moon was good.
There are.
Oh, great.
There are.
There are people there are people out there who just and I get that. That's the pastiche that you enjoy, right? That's the art that you prefer to see on the screen. I get it, because art is subjective at the end of the day. However, objectively, when it comes to the overall portrayal of a comic book universe, I think Zack Snyder very often misses the mark. I've never liked any of the DC, I never liked any of the Snyderverse, and you know that. Nope. I make that very clear. So Odie, we wanted to talk about a little bit. People are talking about Zack Snyder coming back. You made this video on Zack Snyder. What is the likelihood? Let me just ask you flat out. What do you think the likelihood is that Zack Snyder gets another whack at the DC universe?
I think it's low, but not impossible.
Whoa.
And here,
I did not expect that.
let me
I thought you were just going to say no.
explain. Okay, so to fully understand the Zack Snyder thing, long story short, 2008, Dark Knight's doing really well. Christopher Nolan's involved with DC. Warner Brothers wants to reboot Superman. Come in enter one, Zack Snyder. He's just done 300. He's just done Watchmen. Both very successful box office hits for Warner Brothers at the time. Both comic book adaptations. He's chosen, with Christopher Nolan's word of mouth to Warner Brothers, hey, Zack Snyder's the one to do it. They bring him on board in 2010. 2013, we get Man of Steel, Kevin. Now,
which was all right. It wasn't horrible.
I haven't seen it in a while. I'm planning on covering the Snyderverse trilogy when Man of Tomorrow comes out, because I'm curious to revisit those. I haven't watched Man of Steel or BVS or Justice League in like 5 years.
I still have not made it all the way through Justice League.
I will say, and this is the only thing I'll credit on, Zack Snyder's Justice League is definitely an improvement on the Justice League version that came out to theaters. It's a massive improvement.
You mean the director's cut?
The Zack Snyder version, the 4-hour-long one.
Okay, yeah.
So, Man of Steel comes out. Does it do well? Yeah, it does. On a budget of like 200 and something million, it makes 670. Very solid start to this universe. Mixed reviews, mostly on the characterization of Superman. Why, you might ask? Because he's a murderous lunatic in this who crashes through buildings and snaps people's necks.
Because you're always going to get mixed reviews on Superman.
And we're not here to discuss that.
Nope. Keep going.
Save all thoughts for that later. But 3 years later, 2016, which is quite a long gap, honestly, and I think that's part of the problem with the Snyderverse. We get BVS. Again, box office hit for the most part. It did make some money back, but it had a pretty high production value. Made around $800 million on like a $250 million budget, but it said that it cost about close to $600 million with marketing and reshoots and yada yada. Not very good in terms of reviews. A lot of people did not like it, mostly because the biggest cop-out in movie history happens where you have the same name as my mom. Your mom and I have moms. Our moms have the same name, Kevin?
That's probably my second least favorite moment ever, right behind somehow Palpatine has returned.
Yeah, it's a bad line. Like it's bad. It's as bad as Jonathan Kent dying in a tornado because he doesn't want Superman to reveal himself. It's as bad as Jonathan Kent telling Superman to let a bus full of kids die.
Horrible.
So BVS puts Warner Brothers in a tizzy. The reviews are not good. The box office, they were like, this is $1 billion hit for sure, because at the time, this was going to be one of the biggest movie crossovers like on the big screen. Batman is facing off Superman. Never happened before in live action.
There was a whole podcast that we love that started as this film built up steam called The Weekly Planet.
Yeah.
That's where that came from.
Yep.
They originally were building up to that,
BVS.
and then it became something else.
Another fun fact about Batman vs. Superman is at the time in 2016, it had an 83% box office drop the following weekend, which was the largest for a movie at the time.
Ever.
So Warner Brothers panics, and in 2017, unfortunately, something very tragic happens in Zack Snyder's personal life with his daughter. I'm not going to get into that here. It's a very intimate, personal thing with Zack Snyder. If you want to know more, you can look it up. Just know it's tragic. It sucks. I feel for the guy. This is awful.
Yeah.
Just absolutely the worst thing in the world to happen. But when he steps away in 2017, they are pretty much done filming Justice League. At this point, it was filming back-to-back with BVS. But because the studio was in a panic over it not being funny enough, the new darker, grittier tone not resonating with every audience out there, they brought in one no-good, terrible man named Joss Whedon to do some reshoots and kind of like Frankenstein something together. Now, Joss Whedon sucks as a human being for a lot of reasons. You can look it up. Basically, he cheated on his wife a lot and then blamed her for it. I don't
classic manosphere behavior.
And I don't necessarily think that the version of Justice League we got in theaters is completely Joss Whedon's fault. I think Warner Brothers went to him and was like, hey, do you want $5 million to like do a week's worth of reshoots and put a movie together for us? And he
was like, do I?
Sure. This is like the last gig I'm ever going to get. I'll take that $5 million. But Justice League comes out and it's awful. It's one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen. It's so tonally different than what came before. Batman
really
all of a sudden just like loves Superman, even though in the last movie he was gonna kill him. Like it's bad. It's bad on every level. You can look into it. So that kicks off release the Snyder Cut, where a bunch of fans of Zack Snyder's, for better or for worse, over the course of 4 years, because Justice League came out in theaters in like 2017, 2018. Snyder's Cut came out in 2021, 2022. Look, is this fandom kind of toxic? Yes, it can be. But at the same time, I don't want to diminish the fact that between release the Snyder Cut and like the Sonic the Hedgehog CGI backlash, like fans have gotten things to change. They got the redesign for Sonic and they got this cut released. And look, I think that releasing the Snyder Cut was a good thing. Like, I think it shows that when a director really does have a vision, sometimes it's good to let them get that vision out. Because like I said, I do think that Zack Snyder's Justice League, it's pretty good. Like, I actually like it. Like, I think it's all right. Like, I think it's fine. Now the problem with this is that comes out, does pretty well on HBO Max because all the Snyder fans are happy, but they're not happy enough to move on, because now it's moved from release the Snyder Cut to restore the Snyderverse. So ever since that's come out, there has been this same push to replace everybody at DC and bring Zack Snyder back, which brings us to the present day. This year in 2026, Zack Snyder said, like, never say never on returning to DC, because he never thought he was going to get his version of Justice League released, and it did. Another cool thing that the release the Snyder Cut did, and I think this gets overshadowed by the toxicity of the fandom, they also raised a bunch of money for suicide awareness, which is really cool because obviously that ties into Zack Snyder's tragedy that happened in his personal life. So I think that there is some good that has come out of this, Snyder fandom, right?
Okay, here's a crazy thing. I'm going to share this with you right now. So just to double down on the point that you're making. The Justice League score on Rotten Tomato is 39 and 67.
Jesus.
With 67 being like the popcorn meter, so that's like the fans. Right? And 39 being the critics. The Zack Snyder's Justice League is 71 and 92.
It's not bad.
Like, drastic difference between the two of them.
Okay, Kevin, you know what we're going to do?
I still don't like it, but
have you seen it?
It's just personal. Yes.
Okay, because here's what
I remember I tried to watch it during the pandemic, and I think I got halfway and was like, this dialogue is killing me. The pacing is killing me. Why is everything slow motion every 5 minutes? Like, I literally, like, the whole thing, I was just like, because here's the thing. Zack Snyder did a wonderful job with Watchmen, and there are a lot of really cool slow motion sequences in that, but they're short and they're spaced out. They're not happening all the time. Justice League, because it's an action-based
every
film,
5 seconds.
They're happening constantly. Yeah, like there's the whole and there's a whole useless chase scene with like the women on Themyscira and the weird alien things, where like the alien things have like an infinite ammo cheat going on with their weapons and like are somehow just constantly overpowering these women who are like supposedly way stronger. But like, and then there's just nothing but slow motion, and then like literally nothing changes. Like there's no stakes that have changed, there's no tension that builds, nothing. It's just like, it's like watching a kid play with dolls, I'm just like, oh yeah, they're just fighting. Okay, cool, nothing's changed. Got it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, and that's a good point to kind of see, like, what are the chances of Zack Snyder returning, right? Because one thing that I think
low.
I think they're low, but
very low.
I don't think they're impossible. And here's why. Because
I
think that just because Supergirl is going to be a box office bomb, unfortunately, that doesn't mean that the new James Gunn DC is screwed. For one, people forget that The Incredible Hulk, which was technically profitable, but it did not do well financially compared to Iron Man. It made less than $300 million on like $100 and something million budget. So like Hulk was the second movie in the MCU, and it wasn't off to a banger start either, and people didn't really like that movie.
Here's a concession I'll make for Zack Snyder in this conversation, just so people know I'm not like completely biased against him. Zack Snyder did a great job with Alan Moore's Watchmen, right? Because he basically did a remake of that, right? He turned a graphic novel into a movie.
Yeah.
And then Frank Miller's 300. He turned a graphic novel into a movie, and that was cool as fuck. But it's because he followed the pacing of the graphic novel. He followed the themes and the setting of the graphic novel. That being said, One of my least favorite graphic novels, because it's technically a graphic novel turned movies, is Thor Love and Thunder, because that should have been Thor the God Killer series, and it was nothing like that, and I had read that. And you know who probably would have done a better job with that source material? Zack Snyder. And I love Taika Waititi, and I don't care for a lot of Zack Snyder films, but I'm willing to fucking admit that. They should have brought in the guy who can go shot for shot on shit, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's a good point, though, because if Zack Snyder returned, Kevin, I think a lot of people in the Snyderverse think that means he would come back and do these live-action DC films to finish it out. Here's what I think. I think if Zack Snyder was to come back, which I don't think is impossible, I think the likelihood of it being live-action movies is zero, because Ben Affleck said that the experience of playing Batman was excruciating, and he has no desire to revisit the superhero genre across the board. Zack Snyder had to convince Ben Affleck to take the role in the first place. After 2 failed movies he was in, I don't think he's coming back.
Technically 3.
Henry Cavill has moved on to Amazon to do Warhammer. He's doing Highlander. He's got his PCs he's building at home. He's moved on. Jason Momoa has always wanted to play Lobo. He finished Aquaman's journey with the second one. Ezra Miller is hated by a ton of people because of all the shit they did. So getting them back would be insane. Not to mention the fact
they did a bunch of messed up shit. They're not coming back.
Their Flash movie was the equivalent of jumping in a volcano. I don't think they're coming back. If they got Gal Gadot back, I would be shocked. People fucking hate her acting because it's bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
And Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg, I could see him coming back in a heartbeat, but that's not enough. So here's what I think, Kevin. I think that we could see the finished Justice League Part 2 and Part 3, because that's what people really want to see, done in some kind of comic book or animated movie style. Now, personally, I think you could get all of those people back because they could just go down to their basement and record it on a mic. I think you could do an animated Justice League Part 2 and 3 movie with all of those people back, because the thing, like, Zack Snyder's world in DCU would look really cool as an anime. Give it a pretty big anime budget. That would be kind of fun. It'd be kind of cool.
Hear me out. Story-based video game Justice League sequel, directed by Zack Snyder with a way better team, just working on every shot of it. But better, like not Injustice, like an actual Justice League story, like a Justice League comic book. Turned it. Here's the thing: if Zack Snyder comes back anywhere, I would like to see him playing to his strengths, which is taking material that's already amazing and then creating the visual version of that. He is a master of that, because Watchmen is amazing. 300 is amazing. That's where he was doing that to a T. And it was beautiful. Honestly, like, dude, you're great at that. Like, that's a wonderful talent. Not everybody has that talent.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? So, like, if Zack Snyder comes back anywhere, you know where I could see Zack Snyder coming back is in Mark Millar's universe. Like, doing something in the Millar space, right? Which is, like, The Boys, Invincible. Like, there's still a ton in that space that hasn't been developed out. I can see Zack Snyder directing that. I don't see him being full-on writer-director for anything anymore, just because I don't trust his writing.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because one thing that people need to take into consideration is how his movies have performed since leaving the DCU.
Okay.
It's been about 10 years since he's been involved with any DCU project outside of the reshoots and the putting together of his Justice League cut. He hasn't really worked on anything since 2017. In the meantime, we got Army of the Dead at Netflix, which it got views. It hit number 8 for all time.
Did that do well?
It hit number 8 on Netflix's watch list. But overall, with audience and critic scores, didn't land and resonate super well. It did get a prequel called Army of Thieves about the safecracker guy that's on the team, but we were supposed to get a sequel, an animated TV show that's like kind of stuck in development hell, and a graphic novel that all seemingly were shelved. So
that's like the new Zack Snyder package is like, we're going to do the whole thing.
Well,
There's going to be a graphic novel and a TV show, right? Because then Rebel Moon
Part 1 and 2 came out. And look, they got views. They certainly were popular when they came out. The first one especially charted pretty high for Netflix. But once again, reviews from critics and audiences alike, it did not land well. And all plans for the comic book, TV show, and future movies were pretty much just dusted under the rug.
Bad.
So the one other thing to keep in mind is, yes, that, Zack Snyder jumped over to Netflix. If Netflix had bought Warner Brothers, I think the chances of an animated Justice League 2 and 3 movie would have been 100%. I think Netflix would have been like, let's do it. We'll get people on streaming. But with Paramount buying Warner Brothers, they have about an $80 billion debt that they're going to have to pay off. So if this piece of news is true, and if you trust billionaires, which I don't, so take this with a grain of salt, in my opinion.
I don't either.
A producer from Supergirl said that David Ellis, who is the billionaire who runs Paramount, talked to James Gunn and was like, hey, I like what you're doing. Looking forward to your future slate. Now, here's the thing. One thing to keep in mind about that is the deal with Paramount has not gone through yet. So why would somebody go into Warner Brothers and be like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking change all of this when I buy it? That's not something they would do. This could just be a saving face. But at the same time, if they really want to try to work down this $80 billion debt, one strategy that could work would be to bring Zack Snyder back to do streaming stuff while keeping James Gunn's universe and his streaming stuff going, because then you've doubled down on DCU fans. You've got the new fans watching all the new stuff, and all the Snyder fans are back to watch all the animated stuff on streaming. That could help Paramount kind of bring that debt down, because you're getting streaming people in, you're getting people in the theaters. You got both fans. You're trying to appease both sides, and I could see that working. But overall, I think the chances of Snyder coming back are very low, because one failed movie, Supergirl, does not mean that they're going to pull the plug on Lanterns, Clayface, Man of Tomorrow. They just announced 3 animated shows that are coming out. Like, I think that James Gunn and Peter Safran, I think part of this is them anticipating the new regime coming in, so the more stuff they have in production, the less they're likely for them to pull the plug. But Superman did well. It made money at the box office. Clayface is projecting well. The TV shows, have done well. Like, there's always going to be the haters that are Snyder fans, and I think that the reason Zack Snyder has such a bad reputation is because of his fans. Like, I don't think Zack Snyder's a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad director all the way around. Like you said, he's got stuff I like. I like Dawn of the Dead. I like the ones you've said. Like 300 and Watchmen. That's it.
Watchmen and 300. Yeah. Specifically.
So I think his chances of returning are low. But I would never.
Dawn of the Dead was a graphic novel too.
Exactly. But I would never say his chances are 0, because that's something that nobody could ever know for sure. The thing is, but the piece that I want people to walk away with this from more than anything is, I'm sure Zack Snyder would come back if given the opportunity, because, it's his vision, it's his creative direction. But the question that people aren't asking is, would all the people that were in those movies, would Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa, Ray Fisher, Henry Cavill, would they want to come back? And honestly,
I don't think they could. I don't think it would be worth it.
And it wouldn't be good enough. Even if one of them doesn't want to, you're screwed. What, are you gonna get Jared Leto back as the Joker? Like, come on. Like, you're going to get, what's her name back as Mara? Was the Johnny Depp's pooped in his bed girl? What was her name?
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. Like, you're going to get Amber Heard back? Like, no. That's not going to happen.
Here's what I'm really getting at. Like, if Zack Snyder comes back, I want to see him playing to his strengths, right? Which is just, like, directing live-action versions of things. But, no, you're not going to get those actors back. I think the biggest issue facing DC as it stands right now is that tonally your Batman and Superman universes are so drastically different. That, like, to combine Matt Reeves's Batman universe with the current Superman, like, the David Corn Sweat, James Gunn helmed Superman DCEU universe would be impossible, because one of them has to give up one of their strengths, which is their tone, their theme, their coloring. Like, they literally are painted with different brushes, you know? So, like, to bring them together and try to put them on the same canvas is nigh impossible. And that's where I think maybe there's a little bit of room for a director like Zack Snyder, for somebody else to come in and go, hey, here's actually a different thing. Here's a different take that we have on this thing. That's like... But that, once again, super hypothetical. Nobody knows. Not a 0% chance, but very unlikely.
Yeah, I think what will hurt Zack Snyder's chances of coming back altogether down to 0 and will hurt everybody's chances of getting the superhero and comic book movies they want is if the superhero fatigue that we are feeling across the board, not just DC, but Marvel and other comic book companies, whether they're on streaming or coming out into movie theaters, is superhero fatigue has worn us down. You know, we've gotten nothing but lackluster movies for the last 5 to 8 years.
Real.
There's some good ones in there, don't get me wrong, but like a lot of them have been just run-of-the-mill, generic, turned through the production line just to get us something. And I think what could happen, and this is very much my opinion, but I stand by it, if Marvel, if Disney can no longer make the money that they expect to off of Marvel movies, they'll stop making them for a while. If DC, if this new James Gunn DCU fails, that'll be the second time that they have had a universe that has failed. That means that the last time that DC was realistically profitable was the Dark Knight trilogy that ended 14 years ago right now. So DC isn't going to go, let's bring back Snyder, whose universe wasn't profitable. They're going to shelve DC products altogether for a while. What will happen is, instead of getting better movies, we're going to stop getting superhero movies altogether. That's my opinion.
I think this is it's a quantity over quality issue, period.
Yep.
And the only way to solve that is to lower the quantity that it's created in. At the end of the day, there's a lot of different ways that these things make money now. There's a lot of different metrics that studios are using, but it does seem, just to kind of round out this conversation, it does seem that, oh my goodness, hello, Mr. Wyndham. It does seem that the way that things are going, that we're going to have more new IPs coming out, right? Like, and this is commenting on the whole thing. Hello, how are you? I'm talking to Odie. This is the podcast. You want to say hi? Say hi. Hi. Okay. This is my microphone. I talk into the microphone. Odie's right there. See Odie? Yeah? Yeah. You ready? Hold on.
It's a baby.
This is my nephew. He's so cute. Oh, you smell like you pooped your pants, dude.
Ew.
Anyway, sorry. This is the kind of uncle I am. But yeah, no, it seems like we're going to be getting more Zach Kreger stuff, more Curry Parker stuff. Yeah, and I think you got a job to do, dude. He's down here. Go get your dad. It seems like we're getting more of that stuff. We're going to be leaning away from Zack Snyder, from these big IPs, from all the superhero stuff, and leaning more into smaller, independent, original storytelling.
Well, I think we're going to get a lot new writers, a lot more new directors. I think if Clayface does well, especially, that'll open the door for more of these smaller, solo, cheaper projects that can dip into different genres.
Batman already did well. Penguin already did well. And, like, these are well regarded. All of the discourse on them has been like really positive, you know. So like as long as Clayface does well, I think the Matt Reeves style, like that space for Batman, is occupied and spoken for. So even if we get another Batman, it's going to be different and it's going to be included in that universe with David Cornsweet.
We know that the David Cornsweet Batman is going to be the Brave and the Bold, which will have Damian Wayne, his son, with what's her name? Ra's al Ghul's daughter. They have a kid.
Talia,
thank you.
I got you.
So we know that this Batman's going to be different. That means that probably Nightwing is in this universe, which is fine. They're skipping that.
That'll be sick.
The last point that I want to make, because you made me think of it.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves' Batman universe is what the Snyder fans think the Man of Steel Snyderverse is, where it's dark and gritty and real. And it is, but the difference is it's Matt Reeves's is tonally like dark and a little bit grittier, but it's also true to Batman. He doesn't use guns.
Yeah.
He's not trying to kill. Like, you can do those things.
Yeah.
You could have made a dark and gritty universe, but still made Superman this beacon of hope and good that doesn't kill. And that would have been more interesting to have him in a more corrupt world, but trying to be a beacon of good, like Matt Reeves's Batman.
There is the Ultimate series. I guess final point that I would make is like if there's a space for Zack Snyder to come in and pick up some like comic book IP and turn it into film, like there is the Ultimate Batman, right?
Yeah.
There is Ultimate Catwoman, and they have a design and aesthetic that very much fits what we've expected from and love from Zack Snyder.
Yeah. And the last little thing about Zack Snyder, I don't know if this is, I'm curious. We might have talked about this on the news, but I think we missed this. He is doing the reboot of Escape from New York. Now, personally, I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. No, that's good.
I'm excited.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we're not anti-Zack Snyder. I think the thing that I'm anti insofar as Zack Snyder is concerned is I'm anti the loudest part of the Zack Snyder fan base. I'm against them, right? And I mean specifically the loudest part. Because there are people who are like, oh, no, I just really like his movies. And then there are people that are like, he should do everything and you fucked up if you do any wrong by Zack Snyder ever in my mind. And it's like, dude, calm down.
Well, then, Kevin,
because it's not that important.
Let me read you a couple comments that some of Snyder fans have said about our video on Black Adam.
Did he direct that?
No.
Did Zack Snyder do Black Adam?
No. But his fans are mad at us anyways.
Oh, because we made fun of him.
Because it's not in the Snyderverse, Kevin.
Oh, okay, great.
It's in a thing called the Hamadaverse.
What's the Hamada?
So apparently,
keep going.
I was told that the Snyderverse is only the first 3 movies, and when he stepped away from the universe, it became the DCEU. But then when another producer came in, it became the Hamadaverse. Anyways,
okay,
it doesn't matter.
I'm tired already.
Look, it's the Snyderverse, right? Like, what
did they say?
Would you agree, Kevin, that if Zack Snyder was the starting point in the bedrock of this universe, and everything that came after BVS was based on the tone and direction that he put the universe in motion, that calling the DCEU the Snyderverse is technically correct because it all takes place in the universe he created?
Oh, yeah. Well, and Black Adam very much feels like a Snyderverse film anyway. Like, hold on. Let me set up my table and get my coffee. Black Adam is actually a Snyderverse film. Prove me wrong.
Well, let me read you some of these wonderful comments.
Go ahead.
More Disney Marvel gun cultists posing as DC fans. Gun is done, guys. Snyder's return is inevitable.
Whoa.
Oh.
Okay, all right. They come in heavy-handed on this.
This one's my favorite.
Yeah.
These people are disingenuous, gaslighting liars. When we get Gun out, all of these goofies will follow him.
We're goofies now.
We're gaslighting liar goofies.
We're gaslighting liars.
Bro, that shit made me laugh so hard.
How are we
gaslighting?
What did we do that's gaslighting?
That's what I want to know.
That's you're using this word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
It's so funny.
Okay, keep going.
Let me see. Where is this other one?
Oh my god, this is too funny.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Where? Oh wait, hang on. Sorry, I'm scrolling.
Oh, you lost it again.
Scrolling.
I thought you had these in the chamber.
Here we go.
Pew pew.
You guys need to stop calling them the Justice Gang. It's a horrible name and such a terrible insult. The Justice Society of America, which is really so much better than Gunn's current Justice Gang lineup with just Pierce Brosnan alone. Get your facts straight. I guess we messed up. I thought it was the Justice Gang in Black Adam, but you know what, Kevin?
What?
Who cares?
Were we wrong?
I guess so, but also that universe is dead. So you know what they are?
Were we wrong? I care?
They're the Justice Society of failed movies.
Oh, sorry, the Justice Society.
Yeah. That was just some of the. We didn't get a lot of hate comments, thank God. Those were the 3 that really stuck out to me.
How could you? The movie sucked. We had a good video.
Yeah, I just find it so funny that I want to know what we're gaslighting about. Are we gaslighting that, saying that the Black Adam's in the Snyderverse when it's technically not? But
maybe
that's not really gaslighting. We said it once. What I find funny is that people have latched on to whenever you mention James Gunn once, which keep in mind in that video, all we say is Supergirl in James Gunn's new DC universe is coming out, so we're looking at Black Adam. That's like our only thing we say about James Gunn, and people will be like, "You love James Gunn so much, and he's not even a good director, and you like James Gunn, and you're just an idiot for liking James." It's like, dude, chill.
Well, hold on.
Like,
let me correct those people. I don't just love James Gunn. I fucking think James Gunn is doing a better job than anybody that you have picked, guys.
Yeah.
So far. It's you know what? I actually, like, if someone's like, well, you just love James Gunn, I'd be like, yeah, because he's doing a good job. Like,
it's funny too because
that's it.
Oh wait, we did get a comment. It was in a reply to somebody else that said, it says, you guys like James Gunn even though he has no credible work to his name outside of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. I guess people forgot about Slither, the movie Super, the fact that he did the Suicide Squad movie, the first season of Peacemaker, which people famously love. Like,
oh my God.
I love talking to Snyder. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, it just shows, like, first off, you already know me. I don't live in comment sections anyway. Like, we literally release a video. I don't even look at it. Like,
I get the notifications.
I think this is why I would be a horrible content creator, is because I would just, like, put stuff out and then never interact with anybody.
That's fine, though. That's totally fine.
But, like, it's so fun. Like, people come in and they make these, like, we're having fun and making a silly comedic video, right? Like, we're just making fun of things because we're talking about movies that we think, like, the channel talks about movies that are garbage or so bad they're good. Like, you know what you're getting when you click on the channel, and yet you're offended by the 10 minutes of video that's making fun of the thing anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's like going to open mic night, and it's like open mic night for crowd work comedians, and then leaving going, I can't believe they picked on me.
Yeah, right.
Like,
no, 100. Yeah.
You know?
It's the silliest thing in the world. Look, if you're a diehard Snyder fan, you're not listening to this, so we can move on.
Yeah. So, end all be all. It sounds like he's not really coming back. You know, I don't think James Gunn has had a miss yet completely. I would actually say that, like, of everything he's done for the DCEU, giving a good rating to Supergirl is the lowest I've gotten, you know, and that wasn't even for, like, James Gunn reasons. Like, it was for, like, just overall.
He's just a producer. He's not the director and stuff on Supergirl.
Exactly. Like, I'm not like James Gunn, but I am going to keep applauding when good things come out for the DCEU.
I can't wait for Clayface, dude. I genuinely, like, I'm with you. Superman and Supergirl, both certified great. I think I can confidently say I do like Supergirl more than Superman. For personal reasons, but you know what? They're both fucking bangers. I like Peacemaker Season 2. I liked Creature Commandos. It was super fun and silly.
Yep.
I don't care.
Oh, yeah, Creature Commandos.
Yeah, dude.
So great. Okay. That was a great conversation. I love everything that we've covered so far. I don't think we need to talk about Minions a ton.
I have a list of things that I liked that I wanted to just rattle off, and that was going to be my contribution.
Yeah, let me get this out of the way real quick. Odie Matthews at the movies?
Odie Matthews at the movies.
Odie Matthews at the movies.
There it is. So, the Minions vs. Monsters, first off, like, as we've grown as a podcast, I think, you know, it's kind of funny. Like, we'll sometimes go see these family movies, like Toy Story 5. Like Minions versus Monsters, right? And there's almost more of a nostalgic quality to these movies than there is actually some form of, like, oh, I'm going to view art.
Yeah.
Right? These are meant to be fun. And so genuinely, unless the movie's horrible, Super Mario Galaxy, then I don't think the movies are going to get a lower rating than fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're putting on, and we talk about this a lot, when you go into the theater, you put on a lens for a movie, right? And that lens is based on a few different things. It's based on how you like to view movies. It's also based on how the movie has been presented to you up to that point via the trailers and some of the stuff that's come out revealing what's in the movie. And then it's also based on, like, who's in the movie and, like, how the movie was written and, like, then how it just plays out in the actual experiential realm of that. So you've got your perspective, you've got how the movie has been portrayed thus far, and then you've got how the movie plays out, aka the experience. So you've got these three different things. And then on top of that, sometimes we'll be like, well, this is a kid's movie, let's put that kid lens on. It's almost like when you go to the eye doctor and they're flipping the lenses down, they're like, do you like 1 or 2? Do you like
kids
1 or
not
2?
Kids.
Do you like A or B? Yeah. So like that's what's going on. We're putting on different lenses every time we view it. When I sit down to watch the Minions, I'm like, okay, first off, this is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be for kids. I'm not grading this as art. All I know about it so far is that there's a little baby Cthulhu monster and a bunch of minions running around making noises and saying banana. Like, I'm not coming into this movie looking to walk away going, that was a masterpiece. It's great. What a wonderful piece of cinema. That being said, this movie is, on our scale, I would say, good. I think it's very good.
I think it's super fun.
Yeah, it's a good movie, and if you have kids, if you have a nephew, if you have a cousin, if you have somebody who is of the age that could enjoy this movie in theaters, bring them. It's a great movie to watch with a kid. If you got a family and you're listening to this, go see it with the fam. It's a fun. Like, all of the jokes are inconsequential. There's nothing in it that I would say even, like, gets into the PG-13 realm, really.
No, it's
fun. It's
I'm
easy.
A big Minions fan because, and I've covered.
Yes, you are.
I've covered the first
because
Minions.
one of them's named Kevin. That's why.
Exactly. You got me. But it's because.
Why is there no Odie Minion?
Exactly.
We'll cover that next week.
Why is there no Odie representation in movies? The Odyssey is what I'm going to start calling it. But the first Minions movie I covered on Magnum Opus, and it's one of those movies, it's up there with, like, The Meg. It is the definition of so bad it's good. It's so stupid. Yeah. It's so silly. They're yellow guys with 2 or 1 eyes wearing overalls just being the funniest little shits in the world, and I think they're so fun. That being said, Minions versus Monsters, it retreads a lot of things that the Minions movies have already established, and there's like a narrator throughout, and it's something that I've noticed with the kids movies that we've been seeing recently. I don't know if it's just because I've gotten older or if maybe this is just the direction of kids movies, but this one again felt like the most kid movie of the Minion franchise. Like, it's the most kid-centered out of the 3 Minion movies.
I would agree. I think they're really leaning into and so, you have to bring in a younger audience at some point.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think part of the way that these movies can do that is by maintaining that youthful, more kid-like comedy, which is what this is.
And
it's
that's
silly,
good.
it's
and
fun,
you can enjoy it as an adult. 100%. Because, like, one
100%.
thing I think about this Minions movie, and this is like my criticism of it, but again, it's a kids movie, so this is my only criticism of it. This felt like if the Minions were a TV show, this felt like it should have been a little bit longer and like a season, because the main plot of the movie doesn't start until like halfway through.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely. I don't even think we need to do spoilers on this. Like,
the whole thing is spoilers. You saw the trailer. It's monsters it's the Minions resurrect the little Cthulhu by Trey Parker, and he's going to help them find monsters for a movie that one of the Minions wants to make. Boom. That's the plot.
And and then there's like a small twist. It turns out monsters are bad. But like, yeah, right. Oh no. But like, ultimately, I don't even have to spoil the movie to talk about it. I think there's a little bit of a lull in the middle where like the comedy kind of dips and like it gets a little bit more serious, and it never needed to do that at all. It actually kind of like bored me for a second. I was like, all right, okay, we'll come back to it.
Yep.
And then the climax of the film's great.
Climax is
you've
awesome.
got like, and I'm totally okay with the climax is just silly. Like, the whole climax of the film it's nothing but the insanity that you expect of Minions. But like the beginning, and I agree with you on this, we retread a lot of the Minion stuff, and it's because the movie is presented through the lens of someone in a history museum talking about 2 Minions who specifically made film history. And that's where I think you're right, Odie. This does feel more like this feels like a serialized show. This could have been a miniseries. It could have just been 5 episodes.
Another season where they're in a different thing and they're talking about Minions doing a different thing in history. Like, they help with the moon landing or something, Like, and I'd be down for that.
But what they do is they show the minions kind of like working for all these different evil people throughout. But I think part of the reason they do that is that's one of the big running gags of the Minions universe is like, who else did they work for before Gru?
I texted
you, and like
during this
presenting that
and was like, people say that if the minions would have worked for Hitler, it would have been bad, but they 100% would have gotten him killed.
People are constantly saying the minions would have worked for Hitler. Hitler did die, first off. But then also, they would have been the reason. Like I think people skip over that. Like every bad guy they worked for except for Gru dies.
Because Gru's not a bad guy. That's the twist.
Exactly.
Now, Kevin, if you would allow me, I have just some quick notes. The first two are
my
thoughts about it, and then there's just some bits that I wanted to mention that I liked. But I think it's funny.
Yeah, hit it.
I love the self-reflection of the minions getting popular in our world, like with movies and stuff, and them creating merch and everything. And that's a point in this movie that they become big movie stars with merch and everything. I just thought that was a funny little self-reflection.
I agree.
And then my other main point about this movie is I wrote down in the middle, is Minions versus Monsters more quote-unquote woke than Supergirl was? Because there's a whole moment where a group of people are chanting, give women the vote to right, or give women the right to vote, or whatever.
Yep.
And I'm like, is this more woke than Supergirl? Are people going to get mad about this?
I think it's just historically accurate for the time period.
Yeah, I just thought that was like...
But, yeah.
I just was like, that's kind of funny. Because it's like
it was good. Well, I like that they covered that, right?
Here are some of the things I liked. The big evil monster at the end is named Irene, and she looks...
It's a bunch of eyes.
She's just like a goo monster with a bunch of eyes. She kind of looks like moldy Jell-O.
Yep, 100%.
I like the bit where the Hollywood land sign, the land part gets taken out and just becomes Hollywood.
Turned into Hollywood,
I thought that was funny. There's this character, Dort, voiced by Lex Luthor himself, Jesse Eisenberg. Probably one of my favorite inclusions because I was like, is this guy going to be just like a weirdo in a suit, or is he actually a robot from another planet? He's actually a robot from another planet.
He's actually a robot from another planet. That was nice.
And I love that at the end, he just has his giant spaceship and an army of minions and what are essentially like Flintstone-powered spaceships.
Yep.
And like some of them are using them as baths, some of them are getting ejected.
Just wild.
One's like running in it to make it run. Like just nonsense. That's what makes the Minion movies fun. It's like stuff like that. Just
it's very, you know what it is? It satiates that Looney Tunes, like that old like Looney Tunes part of your brain where it's like, oh, this is just silly. It makes no sense. That's why it's here. You know?
That's funny because my last note is the Minions get tanks and dynamite, and then one just shows up in clown makeup and takes off his clothes and runs at the goo monster with a chainsaw. Space.
That one's my favorite.
I think I love
this
movie.
Minion. That's my favorite Minion.
That's so
that whole sequence, the whole clown sequence, was the funniest part of the entire movie.
That was so
I was like,
good.
That's what I came for.
I was dying.
Same. I was cracking up. And that's it, man. That's all you need to know about the movie. It's great. Bring your family, and if you like the Minions, you're gonna like it. That's it.
I think so.
Like, period.
I think
good movie.
I think if you're the kind of adult where you're like, man, I really like enjoying bad movies. Dude, take a gummy or two and go watch this. It's fucking great.
Exactly. Speaking of gummies, we're going to wrap it up because I have to get on a boat with my friends and go have a nice 4th of July.
I've got early D&D 4th of July. We're doing it.
Oh,
early.
That's great.
Yeah.
You guys are using your freedom to roll dice.
Hell yeah,
I'm going to do a boat and a barbecue because I'm fucking American. That's the most American thing I can think of to do. But I'm going to do it with some great people. What?
Gross.
What's your jam?
Just kidding. I think that's fine if you're going to go hang out with people.
Thanks.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. Oh, excuse me. My coffee is coming back up. Whew. Can't breathe.
My God.
I like burped twice and forgot to breathe. You ever do that?
Wow.
You ever forget to breathe?
No.
Oh, me too.
Maybe.
Not me. My first jam, I'm going to give you my TV show. Last weekend, we started Widow's Bay on Apple TV, which is from one of the writers of Parks and Rec. Widow's Bay is about a New England town. It's on an island. I think it's 50 miles. It seems like it's set off the coast of Massachusetts because some people that show up have some Boston accents.
Cool.
On this island, it's about 3,000 people, and it's fucking cursed. There's sea hags. There's fog that kills people. There's like serial killers that can't be killed. And the island fucking sucks. But the mayor, he wants to make it the next Martha's Vineyard. And what happens? Well, you need to watch the show to find out. Because, Kevin, we started the show Saturday night. They're like 30 to 40 minutes. Last Sunday, we canceled all our plans and watched the entire show. Something I have not done in like a really long time. We watched 9 episodes of TV in one day.
That's awesome.
This show is fucking nominal. Like Severance levels of good. Silo levels of intuitive.
Oh, good.
It is.
Because Apple's had some misses this year.
Dude, you need to watch Widow's Bay. I 100% like, please watch this show. It's got humor that lands really well because it's all organic, it's all natural, it's all in the awkwardness of the characters and of the situations, but it's also spooky with a mystery, and it's fucking weird, and shit keeps happening, and characters piss you off, and it's just, it was so good. Been recommending it to everybody. My sister-in-law watched it, fucking loves it. 2 of our friends really like it. Like, it is, Widow's Bay on Apple TV is up there with like Severance and Silo for me.
Hell yeah.
My other 2 jams, real quick. I've been jamming out to the Supergirl track list, and just wanted to highlight a couple of the songs that I think were really, really good. The song This Summer by Sleigh Bells, which plays during the intro credits of Supergirl when she's playing with like crypto in space and stuff, is just like a really good, fun, uplifting song. Wanted to highlight the cover of The Middle. It's by Kelty Gray and Kid Motel. Again, just like even outside of Supergirl, that's just a really good cover of a song that's normally like fast and upbeat. And I'm kind of a sucker for acoustic covers of songs that are normally fast and upbeat.
Yep.
And then the last one is a band that I actually used to listen to back in the day and haven't heard of in a while. And when the song came on in the theater, I was like, sounds familiar. Satin in a Coffin by Modest Mouse, which is just a really fun, upbeat song when she's getting attacked by the tech pirates and stuff.
Hell
just some, I mean, honestly, like, there's just bangers on this track list all the way around, but those 3 for me are the ones that like have really kind of stood out.
That's good.
So yeah, check out those songs, but definitely check out Widow's Bay. Just like get Apple TV for a month, cancel, and just watch it. It's like 10 episodes. The longest episode I think is like 42 minutes. It's a breeze to watch.
I love it.
Really fun. That's my jam.
Cool. I got 2 jams. One, Minnesota rapper Prof has released his new album, Good Time Boy. I highly recommend listening to Prof. He seamlessly blends comedic bars with like very serious hard bars, and kind of it just like the style that he brings to rap is like part nerdy, part gangster in the most like white Midwestern way. And I mean that in all respect and love, but like some of the beats, even it reminds me a lot of like when Doomtree was having more fun with their music. Like there are songs where they're having more fun. There are songs where they're more serious. Definitely hits that Midwest vibe, like Atmosphere, Doomtree, Living Legends, like that type of shit. POS. Murs, not Murs. Who was I thinking of? Sims. But yeah, so highly recommend Prof. Check it out. Good Time Boy is a great album. Good Time Boy is actually a phenomenal song. And then I also recommend the economy has apparently gotten so bad that white boys are back to making really sappy and self-effacing love songs. So I highly recommend checking out the acoustic duo Afterthought, brand new acoustic emo group comprised of a couple guys who have been making music on their own for a long time. However, their song, I'll try, what is this? I'll try to pretend you're not, I forget what the fucking song. I'll try to pretend you're not the reason, whatever. It's so fucking emo. They've released a couple of songs now. One is I Am Nothing If Not Bitter, and the other one is I'll Try to Pretend You're Not the Reason I Existed, which is just...
Love it.
It hits, but like, it's not... Like, when I listen to it, it doesn't make me want to curl up in a ball and go sit in my closet. It makes me want to, like, just kind of bop around and enjoy the acoustic music, even though the lyrics are very, very sad and emotional. And that's good emo. That's the end of the podcast. We are going to watch Evil Dead Burn this week. July 10th, Evil Dead Burn comes out. It's looking to make $28 million at the box office off of a budget of $20 million. I think that's easily accomplishable, especially with how horror movies have been going this year. I definitely think that as the next installment in this franchise that has been building up steam since it relaunched in 2013, Evil Dead Burn has a really good chance of being one of the best gory horror movies of the year. If you don't like gore and tons of jump scares and really gross long sequences, don't go watch this one.
They're a hard watch for me. I'm not gonna lie. I love them, but they make me squeamish.
If you are squeamish, Evil Dead gonna make you scream.
Yeah. Well, don't forget.
That's what it's gonna do.
What you can do this weekend, Kevin, is you can go see Ash versus the Evil Dead Burn, and then you can go watch the live action Moana. Woo!
No, pass.
I forgot that was coming out.
Is that coming out this upcoming week?
That's this weekend.
That's this weekend, July 4th.
No, this weekend.
Now.
No, like
with
next
Ash weekend
or Evil Dead.
Okay. Oh wow. So Evil Dead comes out July 10th, and so does Moana.
Yeah,
live
I
action.
will definitely see Evil Dead Burn, but I will be seeing the live action Moana, so I can heavily. If I see that before the podcast, I'm gonna come in with a segment called "I fucking hate this live action shit." Because for those that don't know, Moana is one of. I have it tattooed on my body. It is one of my favorite movies, period, of all time. So
I was gonna say you bring that in. I'm just gonna see Evil Dead Burn.
Don't see Moana.
I'm not overcommitting myself.
Don't. It's not worth it.
Yeah, and also I saw Moana already, and it was great.
And it's amazing.
I don't want to ruin that.
And don't watch anything else.
I like Hey Hey.
Hey Hey's great.
Maybe I'll watch it for Hey Hey.
No, don't watch the live action.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of this podcast. Thank you for weathering this absurd existence with us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, subpoenas, or you would like us to podcast live at your funeral, make sure to email mysecretpoweris@gmail.com. Art by FrankAce. Music by moi. Evil Dead Burn next week. Peace.
We did it at the same time.